people of the world. Today on Marketing as a Foreign Language, Instagram updates eligibility requirements for Instagram shopping ahead of broader e-commerce push. Facebook launches a new app called Forecast to host crowdsourced predictions and discussion. Twitter pushes more ads into feeds, improves responsiveness of algorithm. Facebook launches Summer of Support program to provide digital marketing training to businesses. Google My Business optimization considered the most valuable local marketing services. How to spend Google ad credits, 3 smart ideas to try. And finally, how to make the most of paid media right now. Marketing as a Foreign Language begins ahorita. Oh my gosh, class is about to begin, so please take your seats. Instagram updates eligibility requirements. Okay, they launched a new updated listing of eligibility requirements for shopping tools, according to Andrew Hutchinson at Social Media Today, which will enable it to open its e-commerce options up to more businesses and individual creators ahead of the broader rollout of its new shops option. As per Instagram quote, whether you are a candle business, and I am, making a foray into e-commerce, a musician selling merch, or a food blogger expanding into your own cookware line, any eligible business or creator account with at least one eligible product can use shopping tags to drive people to their website to make a purchase. The main change in Instagram's policy is the specification that the Instagram profile needs to be linked to an owned store or website. Quote, with this new policy, businesses must tag products on Instagram from a single website that they own and sell from so that people have a consistent and trusted shopping experience. Here's the deal. I have said for a very long time that if you do not have a website, I don't care if it's shenanigans123.vegas.shenanigans. Having a website, having an asset, it is real estate, it is digital estate. Having it now can give you the opportunity to grow something that can pivot. KellenKautzman.com used to be a website that had Buddhism articles on it, and then it had ESL articles on it, and then it had Spanish lessons on it, and now it is a public speaking hub. And tomorrow, who knows? It desperately needs an update. I'll tell you that much. It's probably time to start thinking about what the next iteration of that is going to be. It is not shocking that Instagrams of the world have the necessity. They require that you have your own digital asset where you can sell from. Starting a new website in 2020 is like buying a plot of land on the outskirts of a city. It is unlikely that you are going to be able to sell that for a profit anytime soon. There are, of course, exceptions to the rule. Point being, view your digital assets like you would a home. In other words, you can't link to items on another platform like Redbubble or Amazon. What is Redbubble? Your items have to be on your own site. You can, however, connect through to your own store via an approved e-commerce platform. Okay, point being that via Instagram and Facebook Shops, apparently, we have expanded e-commerce options. So if you're an e-com and you haven't really gone down the Instagram path, clearly there are big changes there. They write, but it's not just retailers that have been impacted. Musicians, artists, and various other creative professionals have also lost out on revenue generated via gigs, shows, markets, and more. I don't know if you're familiar with Twitch, but there are a ton of musicians on Twitch right now. I made, and this is true, $8 on Twitch last night. I know, crazy. Jeff Bezos got half of that. I'm sorry, he got half of the $16 I made. I walked away with $8. These musicians, they get 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 people in these rooms, and they receive bits on Twitch. Bits are like pennies. They're like tips that people can give you when people subscribe to the channel so they don't have to see ads anymore. You make money. Twitch is an excellent place for musicians nowadays. But back to Instagram, that's why Facebook is looking to open up its shopping options to as many business types as possible. And while not everyone will have their own e-commerce store to connect to, the range of options available is fairly comprehensive and will provide a range of opportunities for many sellers. Blah, 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 blah. Instagram has cool e-commerce options. Facebook launches new app called Forecast to host crowdsourced predictions and discussion. Above all, when going through the various social media conversations and trends and keeping up with the discussions that gain the most momentum online, what's clear is that people love being right. Thank you, Andrew Hutchinson, for that glorious introduction. Human nature, apparently, according to Andrew, is centered around our perception of self. Oh, you're killing me here. What are we doing? Facebook is looking to enable users to pose questions and make predictions about the future. Okay, which other users can then vote on and discuss. This is an app experiment. It's called Forecast, providing more insight into potential outcomes based on shared knowledge. I love this for stocks. I love this for economic. It's basically a poll, is what that sounds like to me. There's an app called Forecast from Facebook. Quote from Facebook, Forecast is a place to ask questions and use in-app points to make predictions about the future and to sell advertising. All questions are submitted by the community and then moderated for clarity using Forecast's moderation guidelines and Facebook's community standards. So Facebook is not satisfied. Their thirst is not quenched with the present nor the past. They are now interested in the future as well, not surprising. As you can see, Forecast essentially hosts mini debates where people can take a stab at guessing what comes next. I don't know if you have a standing desk. I do. Watch this. We're going down. Oh, you can't even tell. Doesn't even look like anything. And we're going back up. I highly recommend getting a standing desk if you don't have one. It can really save your life. Don't sit too long. It'll kill you. The in-app points system is interesting. As you can see in the screenshots above, Forecast allocates points to the user who posed the original question based on responses, with the more popular responses allocating more points. I get it. So it is a way to predict the future. It's just a poll. It's not predicting the future, obviously. So here's a question. Will the U.S. presidential elections be fully or partially postponed? 96% said no. It's just a poll. But it's a great way for it is a great way for Facebook to drive advertising revenue and to increase time on site, etc. So you might want to check out Forecast. I don't really see a point for businesses for that. I don't know who would advertise on something like Forecast. That's getting pretty niche. Twitter pushes more ads into feeds, improves responsiveness of algorithm. Have you noticed an increase in the amount of ads in your Twitter feed of late? This is because they like money. At a quick glance, my own Twitter feed, according to Andrew, now has around one promoted tweet every 6 slots or so, and it updates every time I refresh. When I used to see ads only early in the stream, Twitter has been slowly upping its ad load for some time, but it seems to have been pushing them a little harder in recent weeks. We asked Twitter if it had increased ad load, and the response was, quote, "We regularly experiment and deploy changes to our advertising experience while aligning to our principles and standards of a high-quality experience on Twitter. We are constantly innovating and testing and will continue to adapt as we learn," which is, of course, a non-answer. If I'm Twitter and the president of the United States is, lighting a fire and people are super engaged on Twitter because people can't stop talking about Twitter all the time, Twitter. And I can add 1 or 2 more ads to the stream and make, I don't know, 16 million more dollars. I have a huge incentive to do that. Does it get people off of the social media site by doing that? Of course, they're looking at this, but they're making cheddar, ladies and gentlemen, cheddar. So that's a yes, according to Andrew. In a roundabout way, you are likely seeing more ads in your Twitter feed as Twitter's testing new display methods, which at least in part would be prompted, blah, blah, blah. Quote, from March 11th, when many events around the world began to be canceled and many in the US began sheltering in place, until March 31st, our total advertising revenue declined approximately 27% year over year. Oh me, oh my, I am eating my words. Turns out, Twitter flagged a slowdown in ad spend. Obviously, I'm so embarrassed. Obviously, they were losing revenue. Pay-per-click took a huge hit in March, and unsurprisingly, Twitter stopped receiving that huge influx of ad dollars. So, of course, this is in reaction to that. With fewer businesses in operation due to the shutdowns, we're likely to see more ads, frankly. And particularly fewer events in sports, Twitter is feeling the impacts. So it's likely that it needs to up its ad load exactly in order to generate more revenue while also helping it capitalize on increased usage. Well, there you go. Tons more people on Twitter, not as many people paying for it, equals more ads. Twitter side, 24% increase in usage. If you want to quantify just how crazy that is, Facebook has like robots fixing their servers. I don't know if you've ever been to the Switch building in Las Vegas. These are gigantic server compounds, and Twitter not only has text, they have video, they have now audio they're going to play with. They have to support a massive amount of data. And so it's not cheap. So if usage levels remain stable, you can bet that Twitter will look to maintain any such increases moving forward as a means to maximize revenue potential. Obviously, as explained by Twitter, in the default configuration, a Twitter's user home timeline will show the top tweets first, blah, 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 blah. Okay. More ads in Twitter. Facebook launches Summer of Support program to provide digital marketing training to businesses, with more businesses looking to shift their operations online in order to mitigate the impacts of the COVID-19 shutdowns. Facebook has announced a new 6-week series of digital marketing education courses starting this week in order to provide key tips, insights, information, support, primarily for small and mid-sized businesses. We did chat about this before. It looks like they are launching it now. This is something to consider. As per Facebook, quote, we're bringing free digital marketing education to businesses all over the country. So join us for 6 weeks of digital training classes. We get it. June 24th through the 28th, The Changing World. The world is in a state of accelerated change, blah, blah, blah. So they're breaking it down into these various weeks. All the sessions will be run online at the new Summer of Support mini site. All right, so I'm going to open this up. Just to quick give you the link. It is boostwithfacebook.com. So if you're interested in small business support from Facebook, boostwithfacebook.com is the website. You may want to go swing over there. It's free. It will provide new insights and advice from Facebook's own internal experts and could help you maximize your digital efforts. Likely worth a look. So there you have it, boostwithfacebook.com. Something to consider. Google My Business optimization. Considered the most valuable local marketing service from our good friend Matt Southern over at searchenginejournal.com. Google My Business optimization, not website optimization, is considered the most valuable local marketing service in 2020, according to Bright Local's annual local search industry survey On-site optimization is now the second most valuable local marketing service. A survey of 475 local marketers looks at the business practices, pricing, salary, and services offered by local marketers. According to the survey, the top 5 most valuable services are: number 1, Google My Business optimization; 2, on-site optimization; 3, reputation management; 4, citation management; and 5, website design. Citation management, I assume they mean perhaps directories. Google My Business optimization is also the most frequently offered service by local marketers, with more marketers offering Google My Business optimization than traditional SEO. Obviously, everyone and their mom wants to rank in Google Local. It is fantastic if you are a local service. If you are an attorney and you show up for a personal injury attorney, Las Vegas, your reviews show up, you have 4.9 stars. Fantastic. What are the things you need to do? Obviously, you need to add photos. You need to completely fill out the entire Google My Business profile. This is all very obvious. Nobody makes videos on Google My Business. Ain't nobody making videos, and yet you can. They're 30 seconds long. I can say until my face explodes. Nobody's doing it. So you could do a little 30-second, you could do a 30-second show. You could do a show on Google My Business. Maybe I'll do a show on Google My, how about that? A little 30-second show. Hey, here's your little hint for the day. Make 100 videos. See what that does to your Google local rankings. Huh? The top most frequently offered services by local marketers include Google My Business optimization, SEO audits and analysis, on-site optimization, reporting analytics, citation management. I am actually really interested in doing that now. The wheels are turning in my brain. SEO is best for attracting new clients, apparently, although it's not the most offered service or considered the most valuable. Local marketers say SEO is the best online tactic for attracting new clients. This is a ridiculous statement, of course, because pay-per-click is incredibly important. If someone comes to you and they say, hey, we should do SEO for sure, and they don't know what your rankings are, that person does not know what they're talking about. Here's an idea. Let's say you rank 10th for a keyword that actually has search volume and you don't have a blog. You can add a blog and you'll likely jump from 10 to 6 to 4 to 2. Then do it. If you have a brand new website and you're competing, well, I shouldn't say nationally, but even in a large metropolitan area, which would still be considered local, and you rank 456th, and you have a website that you can't add blog content to, then SEO is a garbage idea. This is one of my biggest pet peeves, is when people say SEO is this fantastic panacea. It's not. And this, of course, comes from someone who has 45 SEO clients. It's not always the right decision. Again, SEO is not always the right decision. By a large margin, word of mouth is considered the most valuable channel overall for winning clients. There's no question about that. Let's say you run a pay-per-click campaign and you end up spending $300 for a client that only nets you $250. So you spent $50 to get a client. You had to pay for everything involved in getting the client. You have staff, you have overhead, you have the whole thing. Will you get more clients from that client? This is the question, right? At what cost are you willing to get a client through the door, assuming that you'll get word of mouth in the future? ROI is incredibly tricky to understand long term. Getting a business off and running is usually expensive and time consuming. And so if I'm going to spend $100 to get a client where I make $0 off that client, is it worth it to me? Because many times this is the realistic approach at looking at earning clients. You may only be making $20, $10. You might be going negative to achieve that client. But again, when people come to me and they say, oh, well, word of mouth is actually our primary source of advertising. Duh. I'm right there with you. I get it. I understand that. That being said, let's say we get you 10 new clients and they use their mouths, 10 years from now. What's the net effect of that? Money, of course. So ROI is convoluted. It is complicated. You can run a call rail report. You can see the calls that are being generated, but to track who came in, who refers who, is incredibly, incredibly complicated. We'll get better at it as time elapses, but even 10 years ago, recording a phone call from a Google ad campaign was tricky. Today, not at all. Google rankings matter most to businesses, according to Andrew. The local marketing metrics most valued by local businesses are Google rankings. Yup, according to the survey. Google rankings are even more important to businesses than new customers and new leads. People love them some Google rankings. Number 1, of course, Google rankings. 2, new customers. 3, new leads. Inquiries. 4, organic traffic. 5, number of new reviews. And so on and so forth. How to spend Google ad credits. 3 smart ideas to try. I don't know if you are running a Google Ads campaign. We have received dollars, bills, currency, dinero from Google to our clients' accounts to the tune of over $1,000, perhaps $2,000. I'm seeing the email in my head. I do not recall the exact figure. That being said, Google is giving money to businesses. You may want to check to see if you are the recipient of these Google ad credits. Here are some ideas from the Frederick Valace about how to spend those dollars. Look at this guy. Do you see this guy? Do you see his beard? Do you see the $100 bills floating from the heavens as he navigates? For some reason, he's holding his laptop. I don't particularly, and he has kind of somewhat of a deranged look in his eye, holding a laptop. Money is falling around him. This is a strange picture. Google issued ad credits as part of their COVID-19 relief effort. If your account qualified and you recently got the credit, what are some good ways to use it? Our good friend SRE SAS Insurance, give them a call, get a quote. What is going to be the end of your life to get a quote for insurance? I think not. Just call the SAS agency. Couldn't be easier. SRE SAS asks, how does that work? If you are running a Google Ads campaign, you have been running it. I think there is a date before March, don't quote me on that you would have had to have been spending money. Then Google is going to simply allocate that credit to your account. Moving forward is the way I understand it. If you have someone running your Google Ads, give them a ring. Ask them if you have received Google ad credits. I'll share a prioritized list of ideas. Again, this is from our good friend Frederick over at Search Engine Journal, his ideas, along with tips on how to turn a temporary gain of some free money into a long-term proven way to get more from your investment in Google Ads. Priority number 1, get 100% of what works for you during uncertain times. It's wise to focus limited resources on things that have already been proven. This is incredibly obvious. The easiest place to start is to make sure you are not losing impression share due to budget for campaigns that are meeting your targets. As a reminder, a budget optimization even applies to campaigns that are automated with smart bidding or smart campaigns. Interesting. So the easiest place to start, is to make sure you are not losing impression share due to budget. So make sure you're spending enough, I think is my takeaway from that. Remember that automation in pay-per-click doesn't mean set it and forget it. That's true, of course. So don't overlook opportunities for automated campaign types. Here's how to get 100% of what drives profitable sales and leads. Oh, snap. It's a bulleted list. Let's go, bulleted list. Filter campaigns so you are left only with those meeting your targets for cost per acquisition or return on ad spend, which is to say, go through your campaigns. If you have conversions set up, those that aren't converting, turn them off. This is somewhat obvious to me. Sort the remaining campaigns from best to worst cost per acquisition. You have to obviously have cost per acquisition set up. If you do not have cost per acquisition set up, make sure you are checking that. An acquisition can be anything. An acquisition could be getting an email. So you need to be cognizant of the acquisition. Is it a phone call? Is it an email? Is it a form fill? What is an acquisition? Now go down that list and make sure, quote, search lost impression share budget is a low number. Oh me, oh my, we're getting a bit complicated here, are we not? Go down that list and make sure that, quote, search lost impression share budget is a low number. Wow. If lost is due to budget is high, That does not feel like a correct sentence. Refer to the status column, oh me, oh my, and use the Budget Explorer to estimate the additional traffic you could get with different budgets. I see. So this is a somewhat specific way of explaining that you may need to increase your budget to get more clicks. I know that sounds rather obvious. If you only want to increase budgets until you've spent your ad credits, well, there you go. So if Google gives you $500 more, are you just going to spend your original plus 500? If you are, then yes, you're going to want to go in and you're going to want to make sure that you are spending that money at the highest converting amounts, and that there's actually enough search impression to spend that money, is my understanding of this particular piece of the puzzle. And oh me, oh my, this goes. Priority number 2, try something different. Obviously, you could increase geo-targeting. That is, for example, if you're a personal injury attorney, what you could do is target, a hospital. I've had personal injury attorneys ask us to do that. You could run campaigns on rainy days when people are more likely to get into car crashes. If you are a plumber, you could try a new zip code. You could try a zip code of affluent people and, say, redo all your faucets. It's just like a luxury item. You could do a geo-target in an area that is disadvantaged, and you could do 50% off. You can do anything you want with geo-targeting, understanding the demographic of the area that you are targeting. Decrease target return on ad spend, add query coverage with looser match types, test responsive ad formats. Yeah, with extra money, just talk to your Google Ads people if you have them. Try something new. Yes, we understand. We get it. How to make the most out of paid media right now, from Brent. Not even going to try that last name. Let's call him Brent C. Need advice for advertising during a downturn? Here we go. Oh, this is a webinar. I'm not interested in a webinar. During an economic downturn, ad market dynamics and ad buyer behaviors shift. This is true, blah, blah, blah. Recession is here. Oh, really? While the headlines are also dominated. Hold on. When was this written? This was written on June 23rd. All right. So, while the headlines are also dominated by the job market and reopening during the pandemic and racial injustice, the U.S. economy officially entered a recession in February. How did I not see this? I've been looking at these things for quite a while now. In another month, once we see summer spending continue to drag, the recession will continue to crop up as a headline. Oh, this is the probability of U.S. recession within 12 months. Interesting. Learn how you can prepare, blah, blah, blah. Advertising environment. Okay, here's what happened to ad spending in a nutshell. A lot of people have adjusted their spend. Okay, everyone's adjusting their spend. We get it. Okay, there's a sizable portion of marketers who don't really know what actions they need or want to take. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, this is intolerably boring. This article, I can't do it. Too boring. Okay, now we're looking at the Great Depression. All right, I'll take it from here. This summer is nuts. It's probably going to be the summer of advertising because, again, everything's reopening. Everyone needs patrons. They don't have any money, but they have money. It's very strange. Restaurants are hurting like crazy, but surviving. There are a lot of people who receive PPP money that are actually ahead of the game with the money they received. They're net positive. And then there's a lot of folks that are desperate to get clients back through the door. Advertising is obviously the way to do that. It's not going to be super thrilled to be advertising time. It's going to be kind of a desperation advertising. And so if you are looking to get folks through the door, this summer is the time to absolutely grind. Grind. Fight hard this summer because we're likely looking at pressure to shut things down again. The numbers are bumping back up. This, of course, does not mean that people are going to go back into their homes and that they're going to shelter in place. I think that there is going to be a very, very, what would be the word to describe it? Strong tension between the folks that are going to want to shut things back down and the folks that are going to want to continue to live their lives. Advertising in this particular era could be the big. It could mean the difference between keeping your business open and not. It's that simple. So Instagram updating eligibility requirements for Instagram shopping. Got it. So Instagram has a ton of new shopping options. If you can sell on Instagram, you may want to revisit as they are updating things. There's an app that Facebook launched called Forecast. If you're interested in seeing how people feel about a certain topic or being involved in throwing your voice into the collective pot, by all means, check out the Forecast app. Twitter pushing more ads into feeds. Twitter they hemorrhaged about 27%, I want to say, of revenue, according to this article. Revenue declined approximately 27% year over year. So they're hurting. What do? We see more ads. This is just the natural way of things. Check out the Facebook Summer of Support program if you're interested in free digital training. Mind you, they are going to sell you Facebook ads for like 6 weeks straight. So as long as you keep that in mind, you may walk away with some good understanding. The website for that is boostwithfacebook.com. Google local marketing is a huge deal. Making videos for your posts is probably very wise. It is something that I'm seriously considering doing. Little 30-second snippets. I wonder if I could take snippets from my show and simply apply them there. Google ad credits. You may have received a Google ad credit. Talk to your pay-per-click provider and or check out your Google Ads account to see if you have received these credits. If you have received them, perhaps you will try something new. Perhaps you will simply spend more money in a way that you already have. And last, and I would say least, is this article that I'm not a big fan of. Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe it? So much marketing, so much fun. Shout out to Esther Esas coming in on the chat. Appreciate it. And that, my friends, is that. I will see you all tomorrow for another episode of Marketing as a Foreign Language. Farewell for now.